Ready? Play.
Hi everyone, and especially hello to you, Alex Eala fans. I want to highlight something though that you might not be aware of, which is the fact that you can become a member. Click that button that says join. And what kind of things can you benefit if you become a member? Well, let's have a quick look. Here you can see some of the things that you will get as a member. First of all, you'll get exclusive videos that'll only be for you first. Secondly, you'll get other videos that will never be released to the public, just for you members. There are various different levels of membership, but you can begin by just becoming a member from as little as €2, £2, or $2 per month. That's a little over 100 Philippine pesos a month. So not much for some extra content, including some Alex Eala content. In fact, if we look at two recent uploads, we've got some of her practices and returns and slices, plus footage of her meeting, greeting, and signing autographs for fans. We've also got an unedited preview and prediction here of her upcoming clash in Miami. And we also have an unedited video of her being interviewed by myself last year in Portugal. Completely unedited and almost 20 minutes, exclusive for members only. There will also be hundreds and hundreds more videos available to you as a member, and hundreds more that are going to be uploaded in the near future, all for just members and all for just $2, €2, or £2 a month. So what are you waiting for? Just click that join button right now and become a member and get access to the extra footage and, of course, little emojis, including an Alex Eala one, of course. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Okay, let's look forward now to her clash, Alex Eala, with Elena Rybakina. As I said to you before, that is how it's going to pan out. We've got a poll as well up for you to check out on our community tab to check out everything regarding Talking Tennis. Do please become a subscriber. Here is that poll on the community tab, so do check that out. So do please hit subscribe as well as we get closer and closer to 31,100 subscribers. You'll see the number count there on the screen as we now delve into this clash that we have coming up between Alex Eala and Elena Rybakina. They played each other just recently, didn't they? In Rome. It was a straight sets win for Elena Rybakina. 6-4, 6-3. But that doesn't really entirely tell the story because it was close. I think Eala arguably played the best tennis she's ever played on clay to get it that close. Now, I know you might look at the scoreline and go, well, it was pretty comfortable. Yeah, but this is the world number 2 that Eala is coming up against, both here in Berlin and recently in Rome, in the German capital. It's also a surface that I know Alex is not super comfortable on. And although you could argue the same for Elena Rybakina, I think you would also suggest that probably in Rome in particular, where Rybakina has won the title before, she would feel a bit more comfortable than Alex, who's obviously new to the tour, been on the main tour now for about 18 months. But certainly is Alex's weakest surface. And I tell you what, the score was nip and tuck, really was, until just towards the end of the match when Elena pulled away. So I think that's significant. Two match points for Elena Rybakina, the number 2 seed, the number one in the race this year. So the best player on the WTA Tour from the whole year. And she now has 2 match points for spot in the round of 16 to play either Laura Siegemund or Karolina Pliskova, who'll be playing shortly. Okay, 15:40. Eala serves down the tee, backhand return onto the backhand of Eala. Forehand from Rybakina up the line is too clean and too difficult for Eala, that's for sure. Alex goes down 6-4, 6-3, but she can hold her head up high after what was a stellar performance from her in a stellar tournament. But it is Elena Rybakina who progresses in straight sets. In a little over an hour and a half, she takes the acclaim of the crowd. Rightly so. She was the better player. I would give her performance still only a 6 out of 10. She can play better. As for Alex's performance today, honestly, it's one of her best performances ever. I have watched Alex Eala play 50 or 60 tennis matches over the last 15 months. I've watched nearly every Eala match, and I can tell you categorically that is one of her best performances. It's her best performance on a clay. Now we're on the grass, and now we're in Berlin. Now, this is a bonus for Alex because she is better on the grass, for sure, than she is on the clay. But so is Elena Rybakina, a former Wimbledon champion, of course, in 2022, and arguably the favorite for this year's tournament, having already won 1 Grand Slam this year, and is, I think, number 1 in the race, I'm going to say, Elena Rybakina. Let me just confirm that. It's going to be close between her and Sabalenka. Oh, no, Miran Andreeva is now number 1 in the race, and actually, Elena Rybakina has dropped to number 3 in the race. But nevertheless, we are talking about a high pedigree opponent for Alex Eala. Number 3 in the race, number 2 in the world, of course. And possibly, in many people's eyes, the favorite for this year's Wimbledon title. Eala, of course, coming through in straight sets today. Radona Vekic, a very impressive win. Eala as well, in terms of her pedigree on the grass. She made a 250 final last year where she had championship points in Eastbourne. Those ranking points will come off next week and therefore will not affect Eala in terms of her likely seeding at Wimbledon. I say likely seeding because after that win today in the live rankings, Alex Eala is now, well, she remains at 32 in the world, it looks like. Sorry, 34 in the live rankings, looking at the live rankings here. But if we think about this, she is 34 in the live rankings. But let me add something else. There are 2 players above her in those live rankings, in the form of Hailey Baptiste, you can see on the screen, but also Victoria Mboko as well. Those 2 players are sadly injured and therefore will not be playing at Wimbledon. And therefore, the seeding goes down to 34, of which Alex Eala is currently in that slot. And with Elena Ostapenko not playing this week and not playing until next week, then I think what I'm saying is that win for Alex today is probably enough to get her a seeding at Wimbledon, which is huge. Back to this clash, though, with Rybakina. Where are we at with Rybakina's form right now? Rybakina, of course, hasn't played this week in Berlin yet. She's got a bye through the first round. She did play last week in Queens, and probably not her best week of tennis. She won a match against Tatiana Maria, who ran out of steam in the third set there. And then she was actually kind of the better player through large parts of the first set against Katie Bolter. But Katie eventually won the big points at the end of that first set, putting herself in a position to potentially win the match. Similar case of affairs throughout sets 2 and 3. And eventually Katie, in the midst of a semi-final run for her, won in 3 sets. It was an epic encounter, and one that Rybakina would obviously rather come out on the winning side of, but wasn't able to prevail. So her form is mixed, and I think she'll also be a little bit disappointed with the way her French Open turned out. Obviously, they're going out in the second round in arguably the biggest shock of the tournament, a tournament full of shocks, but given how early on it was, losing to Stadobseva in the second round was very disappointing from Elena's perspective. So her form actually right now is sketchy, but she's arguably the best grass court player in the world. And that is who Alex Eala is going to have to face. Alex will be keen, and I think it'll be very important for Alex to get a higher percentage of first serves than she did today. Today, I think, as we saw from the stats, she was at around about 54% for the match, I think it was. Yeah, 54% first serves. The first strike tennis that Alex was producing today is something she's going to have to produce against Rybakina, but I don't think she's going to get as many opportunities to produce that. She'll be pushed a lot more than she was by Donna today. Now, Donna is a very, very good grass court player, as we saw from that Wimbledon run a couple of years ago when she got to the semis and was so close to a Wimbledon final. And, of course, winning last week in Queens. So we know about Donna's prowess, but we also know that there was a little bit of fatigue there from Donna, having played all those matches, including qualifying last week in London, and then having to move on to Berlin. Now, Eala played in London last week, but she only played 2 matches, unlike Vekic, who I think played 7. So I think Eala was there to take advantage of that today. Also, Vekic didn't really punish that second serve of Eala's as often as she should until right near the end of the match, when ultimately it turned out to be too late. Rybakina will not give Eala those chances. But maybe Eala, having had that match, might start the quicker in Berlin against Rybakina. Maybe that little match that she's had today and the conditions and the familiarity with them that Eala will now have might give her a slight advantage over a slightly rusty Rybakina who's yet to play in the German capital. Is it going to be enough, though, to give Alex the chance to get the win? I think she'll have her chances. Rybakina is not known for her high first serve percentage. Normally, Alex is. Normally, Alex is hovering around 65 to 70%. And she'll be keen to get that percentage back on board, despite the fact I think possibly she played her best grass court tennis today. And she's played some great grass court tennis, Eala. In fact, Eala's played a lot more matches on the grass this season than Rybakina. Rybakina has only played 2 matches so far. Eala had 5 matches at a WTA 125 tournament in Birmingham a few weeks ago that she won, whereas she then also had 2 more in London, 7, and now she's had 8. So she's played 8 times on the grass, and she'll be okay. We didn't see the leg strapping from Alex today, so the freshness will still be there, but she's had a lot of reps and frequency and amount of time on court actually does favor you up until a point. There is a point where fatigue overtakes that, but actually having played 8 matches on the grass, because Eala went out early at the French Open and chose to play a 125 event. Rybakina went out early at the French Open, but given the amount of tennis she's played this year, elected not to play before last week's 500 event in London. So that will favor Alex slightly. And perhaps we'll see Alex have the better start and maybe even win the first set. But ultimately, I do think Rybakina prevails, possibly in 3 sets. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready. Play.
Hi, everyone, and especially hello to you, Alex Eala fans. I want to highlight something, though, that you might not be aware of, which is the fact that you can become a member click that button that says join. And what kind of things can you benefit if you become a member? Well, let's have a quick look. Here you can see some of the things that you will get as a member. First of all, you'll get exclusive videos that'll only be for you first. Secondly, you'll get other videos that will never be released to the public, just for you members. There are various different levels of membership, but you can begin by just becoming a member from as little as €2, £2, or $2 per month. That's a little over 100 Philippine pesos a month. So not much for some extra content, including some Eala content. In fact, if we look at 2 recent uploads, we've got some of her practices and returns and slices, plus footage of her meeting, greeting, and signing autographs for fans. We've also got an unedited preview and prediction here of her upcoming clash in Miami. And we also have an unedited video of her being interviewed by myself last year in Portugal. Completely unedited and almost 20 minutes, exclusive for members only. There will also be hundreds and hundreds more videos available to you as a member, and hundreds more that are going to be uploaded in the near future, all for just members and all for just $2, €2, or £2 a month. So what are you waiting for? Just click that join button right now and become a member and get access to the extra footage and, of course, little emojis, including an Eala one, of course. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Well, hello there. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. Matthew, I hope I have given you a comprehensive answer to your question regarding play being suspended at Queen's. Yeah, rain, hardly a surprise. Maybe where you are, there has been less or no rain, and that might be why you are querying that. There's no rain in Berlin, at least not right now. And I can see both of these two players, Elena Rybakina and Eala, warming up. In fact, they are practicing serves, which means play will get underway in the next minute or so. This is always the last action that the players do before starting. In fact, I can see a countdown clock which says 1 minute and 15 seconds. I will be sharing the score on the screen throughout the match, of course. And just to remind you, the last time these two players met, in fact, the only time these two players have played to each other was in Rome just a few weeks ago. It was a straight sets win for Elena Rybakina, but that was on clay. This is on grass. I would suggest that both of these two players are slightly more, dare I say, comfortable on this surface, despite the suggestions of other well-known podcasts Alex Eala is extremely comfortable on the grass, but so is, of course, former Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina. Morning all, is this Silky live? Well, I did just say we are 1 minute and 15 seconds away. We're now 45 seconds away. So it would have to be pretty well coordinated to have this as something pre-recorded, especially as we are so close to the beginning of the match. The coin toss, which again, I can only tell you because I'm watching this live, was won by, I think, Elena Rybakina. They're just showing a picture of her rather than, and she chose to serve. Yes, there we go. The win probability has Alex Eala at 21%, Elena at 79%. Yeah, feels about right. Just turned up. You sound like Bobby Martinez. Oh, by the way, I had my Bobby Martinez question for you yesterday, and you didn't answer me, Jake. Didn't answer. Very disappointed. 21%, the win predictor percentage for Eala. Yeah, feels about right. 4 out of 5 times, I think Elena Rybakina wins this one. Let's get the score for you up on the screen as I turn the volume up on my TV and just hope that there's no disruptions in terms of commentary. This is, of course, a round of 16 clash. Eala prevailing in straight sets yesterday over the Queen's champion Donna Vekic. Elena Rybakina, on the other hand, had a bye in the first round. I'm not a fan of byes in general, but it is what it is. So play's about to get underway, and it is Elena Rybakina to serve first. And so therefore it is time to share the score with you on the screen. When I saw Amanda Anisimova playing Eva Jovic a couple of weeks ago at Queen's, in fact, it was last week, as an ace here for Rybakina to get to 15 love, I did think to myself, this feels like a possible deep match at Wimbledon, like a quarter, a semi, or who knows, maybe even a final. And the way they were playing was just sensational. Incredible ball striking, incredible grass court tennis, I thought. Now, Jovic then loses, I think, to Raducanu in the next round. And there's the whole Raducanu swept up media frenzy, so it kind of got forgotten. But if you said to me one of 3 players is, say, making a Wimbledon final, Anisimova, Raducanu, or Jovic, Raducanu is definitely third on that list. They've played just once before, Jake. And that was on clay a few weeks ago. And it was close-ish. I actually argued at the end of the match it was the best performance I'd ever seen from Alex on clay, albeit there's maybe not a huge amount of competition for that award. I know she took a set off Iga in Madrid last year. But anyway, Rybakina here has raced into a 40-love lead with some excellent serving. Elena not known for a high percentage of first serves, but if she gets over 60%, you're in big trouble. Oh, she gets a first serve in there, but she doesn't put the +1 winner away. It was pretty close to the net, so not easy, especially for someone who hits the ball pretty flat. Okay, 40-30. That went out. It's all about the draw and maybe also about how Eala handles the pressure, especially if she plays on a show court for her first match. Ace there from Rybakina as she holds serve for 1 love. But let's say Eala is seeded, which I think is looking likely right now for Wimbledon. And she doesn't get... Let's just have a look at the WTA rankings live. So the reason why I say she's likely to be seeded, last time I saw she was, 34 in the live rankings. So here are the live rankings, okay? Now, Ostapenko and Buxa are not playing this week, and nor is Barbora Krejcikova, and nor is Jacqueline Christian. And we already know Maria Sakkari's result. Laura Siegmund is not playing this week. Janice Chen has already lost in Nottingham. Samsonova has already lost in Berlin, and so on and so forth. If you can see, there's really the next is Bartonkova is the next player below Alex Eala, who could overtake her this week. In fact, I just want to have a quick look at Bartonkova. She's playing tomorrow against Aryna Sabalenka. You'd imagine Sabalenka would win that one. Of course, Bartonkova is someone that Alex Eala beat recently. So, yeah, what I'm saying, the reason I'm looking at this is because Eala will be at least 34 in the world, at least, and who knows if she wins today, maybe higher, come Monday, which is when the seedings will be decided for Wimbledon. Join us, please, next Thursday, I think it is, for the Wimbledon draw. Oh, great return of serve there from Rybakina, so it's love 30. Yeah, because if we then go above Alex in the rankings, and why am I saying 34 in the world will get you seeded? Because Hailey Baptiste is 100% out of Wimbledon, injured. And of course, so is Victoria Mboko. So there are two players above Alex in the seedings race, if you like, that will be out. So therefore, it'll go down to 34 in the world. And Alex is almost certainly going to be 34 or higher. But who is below her that I think she should want to avoid in the rankings? Well, I guess Ostapenko, if she's not seeded, currently ranked 35. Krejcikova, if she's fit and healthy, of course, a former champion and someone who Alex lost to in the opening round. Great winner there from Alex Eala to get to 15-30. Sigmund, quarterfinalist from last year, very dangerous on the grass. Maybe Samsonova as well, despite her early exit in Berlin. These are probably players that Alex would like to avoid in rounds 1 or 2. Zeynep Sonmez as well, I think, is very capable on the grass, as she showed in that win earlier on this week over Elena Fernandez. So, yeah, these are the players that I think she would want to avoid in round 1. And assuming she does avoid those players and gets a favourable draw, I think she can reach the 3rd round at Wimbledon, where, of course, she'll come up against a seed. Now, if that seed is... let me think about this. If that seed is Leylah Fernandez, if that seed is Maja Fralinska, if that seed is Diana Schneider, maybe even Jasmine Paolini, then she might get to the 2nd week. Right, we've got a game point here for Alex Eala at 40-30. So I'm going to get back to the game. And Alex is held from love 30 down. Good serve there. Were you here when I was talking about this yesterday, Jake? No, I haven't seen much tennis today. It was a late night last night. So yeah, plus Queens has been raining recently. But I saw that Shelton and Taylor Fritz won. Just a bizarre take. I actually was thinking about making a video on it because I did a sort of 5-minute take during yesterday's watch along with Coco Gauff and Paolo Badosa. I spoke about it for about 5 minutes. Just a bizarre take. It can only really be one thing, and that is that they just don't watch much tennis, I guess. Hey, Ghosty. Good to see a couple of legends in the chat. And still, Jake is ignoring my Roberto Martinez point. Backhand return from Alex goes into the net. It's 30 love. Both players so far pretty comfortable on serve, albeit Alex Eala had to come from love 30 down in her service game. And for those of you just tuning in, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. The winner of this match is going to be playing Elena Svitolina in tomorrow's quarterfinal. Good serve down the tee there for Rybakina. she holds for 2-1. Get your questions in about tennis all round, or even thoughts, and I'll try and respond to them during this match. And also, this is funny. In terms of tennis, I don't know grass, but I'm desperate to play on it. I'd love to play. I've only played on carpet, which apparently is similar. The reason that's why I highlight it. Yeah, exactly. It's misinformation. And it's a pity because, of course, there's a lot of new people from that part of the world that are getting into the sport, and they'll just take that as fact. Great question, Jake. Thoughts on Novak? Do you mean Dennis Novak? What I highlighted yesterday as well is, unfortunately, so many broadcasters and journalists feel as though they have to say something, even if they know nothing. And here's a good example on Dennis Novak, because I have no idea what kind of situation he's in. I don't know if he's injured, if he's playing well, if he's playing badly. I don't know if he's particularly adept on the grass. I'm just going to have a quick look to see what Wimbledon runs he's had. Third round in 2018. Thanks, Wikipedia. And unfortunately, many people in live, but journalists in particular, just feel as though they've got to say something. They can't be honest and say, I don't know. I haven't seen that person play much tennis. Oh, really? Dennis, you're not going to tell me he's retired? Or have I missed something completely? I mean, I have no shame in that, if that is the case. But yeah. Okay. Regarding your question, though, Jake, and Novak Djokovic, as I see Rybakina put a forehand cross court wide, so it's 15-all. Not great, and I do subscribe to the notion that this is probably Djokovic's last chance to get that slam that he yearns, number 25. Okay, didn't know he retired, Jake. Deary me. So back to Djokovic, yeah. Yeah, not great, not great. It is the best tournament for me for him to win a slam. I know he made the final in Australia this year, and it's a tournament he's won millions of times before. $30-all here on the Eala serve. Break point for Rybakina now on the Eala serve. Down the tee. It's a good serve down the tee. +1 here for Eala, and she's put it long. Serves down the T from Rybakina, 15 love, ace. Oh, lovely return there from Alex. Volley here from Rybakina, 30 love. Someone was asking about queens, and I saw this on Twitter earlier. Just seeing that, Jake, very funny. Okay, Ghosty. Sorry, I didn't see that comment about the carpet. Yes. Carpet burns and all the rest of it. Do make sure you hit the like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe, as we've got 40 love here on the Rybakina serve. She's been largely comfortable thus far. (4-1), 15 minutes. Back to Djokovic and Wimbledon. So, listen, let's have a look at Djokovic's live ranking. I think he's about 8, right? So it means, yeah, 7. Okay. Is he vulnerable? Possibly, but I don't think he'll drop to 9. So he'll be 7 or 8, I guess. Unless Medvedev and Fritz make the final. Let me just see. Maybe they're on a collision course. I don't know. So Medvedev is playing tomorrow against Altmaier. If Fritz and Medvedev are on the opposite side of the draw and make the final at Queens, that might push Novak down to 9 in the world. Although Medvedev is obviously defending final points, but still, yeah, something like that. But let's assume Djokovic is top 8, okay? Because I'm not sure that Fritz is making the final, nor Medvedev either, actually. So, yeah, this is the live rankings on the men's side. Oh, and of course, even 9, with Alcaraz's absence, even 9 in the world, you're still going to be top 8 ranked. Oh, I see Kaboli lost in the first round in Hell. I didn't know that. So, but what that does mean is he could be facing Yannick in the quarterfinals, right? So, yeah. I want to see Djokovic play Shelton, because I don't remember the last time they played. 1-0 for Djokovic. Yeah, just the once, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, of course, the US Open, the old telephone thing. And they haven't played since, and I've really wanted to see that matchup. Richard Keys is just, yeah, he's something else. Right, I'm going to get the score back up on the screen, because I'm sure there's tennis fans watching right now that are screaming, saying, what's the score? Well, 4-1. So it's not great in terms of Alex Eala's situation. And listen, Djokovic as well can just produce a slam. I mean, that final run in Australia did kind of come from nowhere. Return from Rybakina goes into the net, 40 love. What did we think of Rybakina last week in Queens? I was kind of, yeah, bit underwhelmed by that loss that she had to Katie Bolter. And maybe even the performance against Tatiana Maria, albeit a 6-love third set, maybe suggested that Rybakina was in trouble. But if the real Rybakina stands up, she's the favourite for Wimbledon. irrespective of what happens in Berlin. She puts a forehand long there, and Alex Eala holds for 4-2. I don't think he offers a lot, does he? He's a nice foil. And I liked him. I tell you when I liked him, there was an episode that the guys did on Wayne Rooney a few months ago. Wayne Rooney's greatest Premier League goals or greatest moments. And there was a funny moment with Micah, with him kind of marking Rooney in this match when he gets the overhead kick. But generally, yeah, he needs a foil or two. Yeah. I've already made my thoughts. I think the Totally Football show is very good, very entertaining, offers some good insights, but it's probably in a rare one amongst football podcasts. I saw Henry Winter being interviewed by Tim Vickery on a podcast, and I like Vickery because basically he's got something on Brazil that most of us don't, so that's better than nothing. But when it comes to Henry Winter, I mean, he asked Tuchel in his press conference whether he thought it was more than a coincidence that the players that scored yesterday against Croatia all play in leagues where there's a winter break, right? And I just thought, oh. And Tuchel was like really confused about it. It's like, well, if your question is going to be, do I think winter breaks should be a good idea for English football? Fine. But I don't think you should even ask that question after we beat Croatia, and you should be honing in on that match, right? There's a million other questions I would like an answer to. More than that. Oh, I see Nick has entered the chat. The only thing that could stop Eala being seeded at Wimbledon if Barton wins the title. Oh, okay. So you're obviously referring to what I was saying earlier. And that's assuming she goes out today, right, Nick? I mean, if she wins today, which of course is looking unlikely right now, given that she's a breakdown in this first set, then yeah, it's not looking likely. But I'm also saying that because she's the the second favorite in this 2-horse race that's going on. So she's not the favorite to win the match. I always think that if you're the underdog and then you go down on the scoreboard, you're in big trouble, right? But yeah, so the only thing that can stop her is if Barton wins the title. Which, given the field, you know, she's going to have to come through Sabalenka. And then, double fault from Rybakina. So deuce. Let's have a look at the WTA Berlin draw to see what the possible semi-finals will be. I know the winner of this Eala-Rybakina clash will play Svitolina in the quarters. But yeah, so Barton-Kova's run would be, here we go, listen to this. Sabalenka, Pegula or Keys, and then, Pegula or Keys, and then in the final, Noskova, Svitolina, Badosa, or Rybakina. Let's go with, I think Badosa's the outsider amongst those four, so let's go with either Noskova. What a run that would be for Barton-Kova. I think she deserves to be crowned Wimbledon champion as well as Berlin champion if she makes the final, given that run. This is the draw. We've got a game point here for Rybakina. Oh, okay. No, it was funny. I was about 10 minutes ago, I was just speculating on the probability of her being seeded because, of course, 34 in the world right now means being seeded, as I'm sure you're aware, Nick. And so, yeah, I kind of began the show with some of those thoughts on the likelihood of her being seeded. And really just, I think it kind of was as part of a conversation about how far she can go at Wimbledon. And I thought about the pressure of playing Wimbledon and the Slam. And I know how much that means to Alex, because she's even basically said that Wimbledon is the one Slam that she'd like to win more than the other. Wonderful backhand down the line there from Alex to bring up a break point, trying to make me eat my words in terms of her being the second favorite in this 2-horse race that I'm watching right now. Alex Eala gets the break. So we're on serve. And the WTA website's not updating. Yeah, it would, Nick. Definitely. Because I think if the draw's okay, she's likely to be the favourite against most players not seeded. More than most, maybe 80 or 90%. So I was just looking at players that won't be seeded, that we kind of know won't be seeded, barring injuries above them, because they're just not playing this week or they've already lost this week. That was what I was talking about earlier. So here's the live rankings, which does just include Barton-Cover on the screen, as you can see. Everybody immediately below is either not playing this week or has already lost until you get to Barton-Cover, I think, and therefore won't be overtaking Eala in the rankings. And therefore, I was also just looking at players who, if it's a first or second round opponent, Eala would not be the favourite against. And it's Ostapenko, Krejcikova, Siegemund, maybe Samsonova, maybe. Yeah, I know she lost early this week in Berlin, but I think in terms of grass court pedigree, I think that's where we're at. Maybe Sonmez, even though I know Alex has beaten Zeynep earlier on this week. I really rate Zeynep on the grass. Maybe Katie Bolter as well. Yeah, I hadn't thought of Katie. Those are the players, really. Perhaps Peyton Stearns, if she can find her mojo. But there's a lot of players that Alex Eala would be the favourite against. So, therefore, third round, which I think would be maybe par if you're seeded, 32. Sorry, yeah, we're not allowed to show the match live. Puzzle Unlock. Interesting name. Back to you, Jake. Silky got a heart. Be hard to see wing all the fence constant stones. Got too many chances for me. Yeah. But Gay doesn't convince me either. I know I'm biased, but how Maguire doesn't get into that squad, I don't know. He's definitely in the top 4 centre halves in England. And maybe even ahead of all of those guys. Maybe he should be playing. I don't know. I certainly think he should be amongst the 4 providing competition and options. But there we go. But regarding the defense, well, don't forget, you might get to the last 8 at least without being mega tested. I do think Mexico and Mexico City, which is a possible round of 16 clash, could be tough, but more because it's Mexico in Mexico and the altitude and all that. Yeah, exactly. Can take a penalty as well. Can score a goal. He's got the experience. I don't think he's as problematic as maybe Tuchel is suggesting. One thing I will say, though, with Tuchel, though, in terms of the outrage and surprise, he did say it in March. Very good, Jake. Yeah, you saw my rant the other day. Okay, second serve here. Rybakina returns it. Forehand from Alex goes long. 40-30. I think a quartet of centre halves of Maguire, Stones, Konsa, and Gay would be, I think it would be a good quartet that would give us a chance. But now we're looking at a trio plus Dan Burn, aren't we? I mean, let's be honest. Dan Burn's not getting anywhere near the team. Eala body serve, unreturned, or at least it was returned, but not on the island. And we are at 4-4 after 20 minutes. So, yeah. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, just regarding the defenders. So, you know, we might get to the quarters without really that defense being under pressure, but you would imagine against a France, an Argentina, a Spain, despite the Spanish result the other day. Yeah, I think Henderson's not just there for leadership, though, is he? But I think if you're just honest with the player or players, you know, I would just say that to anyone who I thought was far away from the first 11. If you do, just say, look, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to play. I'm not saying that personally about Maguire, because I think he would be in there with a shout. But, you know, like Cristiano Ronaldo, I would just say, look, I would love you to be in my squad as a squad player, but you need to understand that is what you are. If that is not something you're comfortable with, you can't come. Anyway, 15-all here, second serve. And Eala's done well there on that second serve. And in fact, it's going to be 15-30 from the player that's been accused of not being very good on grass. She's 4-all against a former Wimbledon champion right now. Now, I did have Rybakina coming through. I don't know if I went for 3 sets. Yeah, I think I might have done. I thought as well, being Rybakina's first match, this first set might be where she's a bit vulnerable. There's a lovely +1 there, though, on the backhand side from Elena. That wasn't an easy backhand, but she made it look easy. Volley here from Rybakina, 40-30. No, I didn't. But you know, I like to hear what Dan's got to say. Whether I watch it or not, I don't know. How long is it? Backhand return from Eala goes long, and from a spot of bowler there, Rybakina. She's got out of that hole from 15-30. Alex looks to her team and looks frustrated, perhaps, with those first serves landing in. 1 hour 40? What? You're kidding me. I was going to say, you know what? If it's 20 minutes, I'll tune in. But if it's much more than that. What's going on, by the way? We've suddenly gone from like 40 viewers to 180 on YouTube all of a sudden. What's going on, people? Rybakina 5-4. For those of you just tuning in, there does seem like there's a lot of people that have just tuned in. The situation was that Rybakina got the early break, was up 4-1, and it was like, okay, this is going to be easy for Rybakina. I started sort of saying stuff, well, Eala's doing okay, but this is a level above for her today. Suddenly, Eala gets it back on serve, and we're at 4-all. And in 4-all, 15-30, you know, you're dreaming of winning the first set if you're an Alex Eala fan. But then Rybakina shut that door down pretty quickly. Yes, do hit that like button. Okay, maybe I should tune in. I mean, I'm tuning in for Dan Evans, but yeah, maybe I should. Lots of people watching by the way. Thanks for joining us. As Ghosty says, please do hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. So just below the screen, you will see a thing and it'll say subscribe. Please hit it. If it says subscribed, then thank you very much. That means you've already subscribed. I'm actually going to bring up our live subscriber count as we speak to see if that is ticking over with you guys clicking on the subscribe button. We have got Alex Eala here serving to stay in the match. Sorry, to stay in the first set. Calm down, people. Calm down. Alex Eala serving to stay in the first set. I'm sorry to give you all palpitations if you're concerned about that scenario. And she has won the first point, so it is 15-love. on the Alex Eala serve. Oh, we've just lost. Oh, I talked that up, didn't I? All right. As soon as this gets to, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, see that subscribe button? Click it and watch that number tick over and know that you have made that difference. As Alex Eala races into a 30-love lead on her serve, threatening to get to 5-all. As soon as the next person subscribes, there we go. Thank you very much. I'm going to share the score with you on the screen. 30-love here, Eala. First serve goes into the net from Alex. Also, let me know in the live chat, where are you watching this match? Are you in Germany like me? Are you in the US like Ghosty? Or are you in God's country like Jake, aka Wales? Double fault there for Eala, 30-15. Maybe you're in the Philippines. Maybe you're in Indonesia. Maybe you're in Australia. If you're in Australia, my goodness me, it's pretty late. In fact, in the Philippines, it's midnight, I think. Oh, we've got someone here in London. Wonderful. Thanks for joining. A much more friendly hour for you, Vicente Saniel. Please do hit the like button. And if you're new, do hit subscribe. 30-15 here for Eala. Backhand return from Rybakina into the forehand of Alex. Backhand from Rybakina, forehand Alex. And that's going to go long from Rybakina. So it is 40-15. Still waiting for Jake to respond to my Roberto Martinez thing from yesterday. When do the US play next? They're not playing today, are they? Oh, there's a match just kicked off, isn't there, between the Czech Republic and who is it Czech Republic are playing? Is it Mexico? No, that's later on. That's on Thursday. Yeah, that's next week. Czech Republic, South Korea. Smash there from Rybakina, 40-30. Oh, and the Czech Republic. Oh, no, Czech Republic and South Africa. Well, South Africa resemble a pub team to me, so I'm not surprised that the Czechs are winning 1-0. Maybe the worst team at the World Cup so far. Well, Ghosty, you know Tom's gone out to the US. He came on a stream a couple of days ago. Me and him were mostly chatting about football, interspersed with some Felix Borges chat, because that was the match we were commentating on. Unreturned serve there from Alex Eala, and she holds for 5-all. Let me know in the live chat, who is winning this first set? Just simply write Alex or Elena in the live chat right now. Alex, and click return. Elena, click return. Who is winning this first set? It's 5-all. Rybakina about to serve, 36 minutes on the clock. I need you in the live chat right now. Hit Alex. Well, don't hit Alex. Write Alex and then hit return. And then, or hit Elena and write return. I tell you what, Alex is hanging in there, although she's just put that backhand long. One thing I did say in my prediction was that Elena will prevail, but if you're going to get at her in this first set, because this, of course, is Elena's first match in Berlin, whereas it's Alex's second. And maybe, oh, what a return from Alex Eala. Not comfortable on grass, hey? Deary me. I mean, you just can't have seen Alex play. Or just don't understand how grass court tennis works. Okay, blocked return there from... She's going to be passable, but she's gone for the lob, Alex. She's hanging in this rally, but she should have gone for the pass, because I understand the lobbed up ball if you're down in the rally, but actually Alex arrived at that ball with enough time to go for a big, I would suggest, cross-court. Look at this. I'm watching the replay again. So the ball comes down here. It's on the backhand side for her. Of course it is, because she's a lefty. Maybe that's an occasion where it was just a bit more difficult actually being a lefty. Anyway, it is what it is. Catherine Whitaker from the Tennis Podcast. I think it's a pretty strong case, yeah. Oh, what a return that is. What a return from Eala. And that's one of the reasons why she's so good on the grass, because the return is arguably her biggest weapon, which, of course, is rewarded on grass a million times more than it is on clay. And if you're a good returner, you don't mind quick courts, because that, elevates you a bit, because you're great at reacting to that. If you've got unbelievable reflexes, in a way, the quicker the better, because there's other players that don't react as quickly and with such control. 30 all here. Look at that return. She's got to win the point from here, but doesn't win it outright. Oh dear, Alex, you've got back to neutral now. Although you've got a gift there from Rybakina on the forehand side, 30-40. Very good. Okay, 30-40. I heard something about FIFA threatening to sue some people that had a bong shaped like a World Cup. So they blew it up on social media or something. There's something like that. I don't think I'm far away. Anyway, break point here for Alex Eala. Let first serve. Decent return that. Forehand Elena is going to be sprayed wide. We got the break. Eala leads 6-5. And when they return to the court, she will serve for the first set. I like Honigstein as well, Jake, but I haven't seen him at all during this World Cup. Maybe he's out there doing some stuff for someone, maybe even... But he's normally on Sky TV in Germany, and they don't do much during the World Cup, so he might not even be in the US or wherever. And I know Magenta have got, obviously, a big presence in terms of Thomas Muller and Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp, of course, getting in a bit of hot water because he made some comments about the selection for the German national team. And also, I think, the position of Nagelsmann. He's apologized and called himself an idiot, but I don't think he needs to apologize. I'd rather hear frank thoughts from broadcasters. Sure, you don't want to be offensive, but I don't mind a bit of honesty. If you think that certain players should be in the first 11, then I want to hear it. Anyway. Yeah, I'm okay with Valinska getting a wild card. Yeah, I'm all right with it. It wasn't really at the forefront of my tennis thinking, but I know there was a conversation to be had. Yeah, I know. Right, Eala here, serving for the first set at 6-5. Pretty good weather this week in Germany, and I think it's the same all over. So, in fact, the temperatures might really be getting pretty hot come tomorrow and Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. Eala serving for the first set, backhand return. Oh, and a mishit forehand from Rybakina, it's 15-love. And in fact, I think in particular regarding Rybakina, because if it's super hot, she is somebody who tends to wilt in the heat. I'm looking forward to her potentially playing a semi-final or final, but she is also staring down the barrel of a first set deficit here. Can you stare down the barrel of a first set deficit? I think you understand what I mean, right? She's on the verge of losing the first set. If you can stare down the barrel of defeat, you can stare down the barrel of a first set loss, right? Oh, wonderful forehand up the line there from Eala, but can she put this volley away? Yes, just. The Alex Eala. Oh, no, she's missed it. Sorry, my bad. I was pretty convinced that landed in, but there we go. 15 all. To be honest with you, Eala could lose love and love, or could lose from here 7-6-6 love, and could lose first round at Wimbledon. And it's just not relevant. She'd probably have to have 2 years of not winning a match on grass for that to even potentially be a thing. 15-30. Down the barrels, yeah. I think he's retired, no, Ghosty? He's either retired or he's playing in a Mickey Mouse league, dare I say. Okay, Eala here on a spot of bother at 15.30, but that's a lovely gift again from Rybakina, not hitting the ball cleanly on the forehand side and it landing pretty far out, 30 all. It doesn't, even Birmingham, I mean, Alex showed enough last summer to show that she was extremely adept on the grass. And I was thinking to myself that, okay, maybe you didn't watch any grass court tennis apart from Wimbledon last year when she lost first round. But even then, I think she won the first set against Krejcikova, reigning champ. Rybakina goes long on the backhand and we're going to have a set point. I'm not a huge fan of James Corden, but I did find his interview with Zlatan very amusing, where Zlatan was doing an honesty test, or whatever you call it, a lie detector test. It was very funny. 40-30, game point, a set point. Good serve down the tee, but decent return from Rybakina. Now it's on her forehand, which has landed well in. Elena comes to the net, delayed that approach, but got away with it because Eala couldn't pass, so it's deuce. Those of you just tuning in, do hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. We're racking up the subscribers, which is nice to see. So please do hit that subscribe button now. Okay, Eala here at deuce. Where are you going to go with this serve? It's a body serve that just goes long. So it's a second serve. So a chance for Rybakina to put some pressure on Alex here. Okay, forehand here from Eala. It's going to go long. We've got break point. So from 40-30 and looking good with a set point, Eala now has a break point. I'm one way or another, I think Rybakina's winning, but you know, what do I know? Break point, Rybakina here. Okay, where are you going to go with this serve, Eala? Pressure moment for her. Backhand return is really good. Now Rybakina on the forehand. Eala on the backhand with a decent amount of depth, but really good tennis here from Rybakina. She's on the attack. Oh, she's put the forehand long, and look how relieved Eala is because she was down in that rally. There was a sizable chunk of the court to aim at for Elena, but she put that forehand long. That's one of those where you're just watching it and hoping, right? Because you know there's nothing you can do. What is it you enjoy, Jake? Unreturned serve from Eala. And it's going to be another set point. Okay, backhand return. Goes long. Eala wins the first set by 7-5. Very impressive from her, particularly given that she was 4-1 down, but also then serving for that set as well and having to save that break point, albeit that maybe, did she save it or did Elena give it back? I think maybe Elena gave it back more. I understand the temptation for people, including maybe people talking tennis, to celebrate Eala's success, but ultimately, she's not great on clay. Right, Eala here hitting 2 aces and 1 double fault. Rybakina, of course, out-acing her opponent. But look at this, 71% of her first serves landing in, Alex. That is a big win for her and probably one of the biggest reasons she's won that first set. Both players hitting 8 more unforced errors to winners. And Eala just edging it 38 points to 36. Tell you what, to come from 4-1 down against a former Wimbledon champion. Very impressive. I mean, I've seen, regarding what you're saying there about Alex's game and what I'm aware of. Of course, I'm in the fortunate position compared to, say, the tennis podcast, where I've probably watched 70 matches of Eala's, really, since she broke out in Miami. That's a guesstimate. I mean, I'm guessing she's played 80 matches in that period, and I've probably watched 80 to 90% of those. So I do say that maybe in tennis more than most, it's about how much can you watch. Yes, you need to have understandings of the game. That helps. If you play it a bit, that also helps. If you understand what sport is like, maybe you understand sport and the pressures of it, etc., that helps. But the number one thing is you've got to watch a lot of tennis, right? I mean, if you said to me, what about the strengths and weaknesses of Sumit Nagal? I haven't seen him play for probably 10 months. So it's difficult, right? Do you think it's worse now than before, Ghosty? Might be. Interestingly, well, that's a great forehand from Rybakina, 15 love. Interestingly, Al Gore, about 20 plus years ago, early 2000s, I think, former presidential candidate in the US, said that with the internet, misinformation will basically, fake news will just basically go because we'll all be at a fact check. Not the only take I'm sure Al has got wrong over the years. A forehand missed there by Rybakina, 15 all. Do you see more things more as a tennis fan than a player too? Player fan too, which is the biggest. Maybe, but I think there's two kinds of bias, isn't there? And tennis does tend to have the wrong kind of bias, maybe. Let's just say you are a Liam Brody fan. Let's go with Liam, shall we? Maybe you find it difficult to assess Liam's tennis. Maybe you find it difficult to assess his wins and his losses because the bias gets in the way. So if he loses, you blame all sort of things because you feel as though you're embodying the player, if you like, somehow. Whereas actually, I think I've spoken to you about this. I don't have a strong opinion on Al Gore, Ghosty. Maybe that came across wrong. So, I know he sort of got into his environmental efforts post-presidential bid. But he's obviously got that take big style wrong, that's for sure. And maybe it didn't take a lot of thinking to realize that might be wrong. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So regarding sporting bias and all the rest of it, whereas actually, one of the reasons why I think certainly I can enjoy a football fan, soccer fan podcast or YouTube channel, etc. so much is because despite the bias that they have, they want the team to win, right? It's not Cristiano FC. It's not Lionel Messi FC. It's not whatever. Of course, you get people that aren't real fans that fall into that category. But, if Bruno Fernandes has 6 terrible games in a row, you just say he's playing badly at the moment, right? If you're a Manchester United fan, as I am. Talking of which, do check out Talking United as a YouTube channel. We're still short of, I say we, it's basically me, still short of 100 subscribers. So please do check out this channel and hit subscribe. Going to post it in the live chat now, the link. Okay, this is an interesting rally. Love 15. You can be objective is what I mean. You can be objective. I think so, Ghosty. I think so. I mean, I don't know what percentage, but somewhere, it's a bit of a huge gap, but 50 to 90% do come from humble backgrounds. I know that Kaká, the Brazilian attacking midfielder who's now retired, I don't think his background was particularly humble, and probably Frank Lampard neither. Oh, just going long there, Rybakina 15 all. But there's a good chance a footballer comes from a humble background, just like there's a very good chance or an extremely likely chance that a tennis player comes from a very unhumble background, if there is such a word. Yeah. It's just weird in tennis that you know, in football, right? I do know why, because in tennis, you're supporting a player, right? An individual, and they can do no wrong. In football, you're supporting a badge or a city or a color or an identity, and those things can do no wrong. But the individuals within it can do a lot wrong. And of course, therefore, your opinion is far more malleable. He's born in the same hospital as David Beckham. How about that? So I learned that thanks to Opta. Don't forget to cite your sources, people. Okay, 30-15. Czech Republic 1-0 still with South Africa, who I've likened to a pub team. 40-15 here for Eala. Remember, the winner of this match will play Elena Svitolina. Oh, and she's won the next point as well for 1-1. Thoughts on Badosa getting that emotional win versus Goff yesterday? I mean, I could see the emotion at the end, and I think she spoke about a physical and mental toll in her situation in recent months or years. I go back to the Rome tournament of 2023, when the back injury, at least to the public knowledge, really flared up and ruled her out for most of that year. And it's been on off for her ever since, really, hasn't it? I also know that she spoke about what she described as a toxic relationship. Oh, what that forehand winner that is from Rybakina. But also regarding the tennis, Coco Gauff not won a match on grass since 2024. That's 3 matches in a row she's lost, albeit that 2024 period, she did get some pretty good wins at Wimbledon that year. I think she got to the round of 16, equaling her best run. So Coco on grass is certainly a work in progress. Oh, Rybakina +1 forehand into the net, 15 all. I think I've overestimated Coco on the grass before. Remembering 2022 Wimbledon, I don't think I predicted her to win it, but I think she went out first round. But I'm just going to check this now. No, third round. What am I talking about? She lost the first set to Rusa. Maybe I got confused there. But yeah, losing to Anisimova, interestingly. Yeah, Goff on grass is yeah. Now, if the tennis podcast had said that, you know, I wouldn't be arguing the case. 30-15 here on the Rybakina serve. She's coming to the net. It's a tricky volley, but Elena is going to get punished for that tricky volley in a way because she couldn't deal with it. Eala chased that ball down and passed her. So it's 30 all. Now, this could be a very interesting moment. I don't want to get carried away, but it might be match defining. Chica, he's from England. Is that me you're referring to? Because if it is, you're right. I was born in England. But so is Harry Kane and so is David Beckham. And there the similarity ends. I mean, I enjoyed playing football, but I can't profess to being quite at their level. 30 all here. Rybakina serving. Misses the first serve. Wide by some margin as well. Lovely forehand return there. And Rybakina can't deal with it. If anyone knows Rybakina's record against lefties, let me know. Just going to check her head-to-head with Vondrousova, who I know she's, I think she lost to, didn't she, at the US Open last year, maybe? It's going to be a second serve as well. Forehand return, backhand now from Rybakina into the forehand of Elena. Oh, Rybakina sprayed that wide. And as a result, we've got the break. If someone can let me know her record against lefties, I can see against Vondrousova, it's 2 losses, 1 win. So maybe there's a lefty issue, and maybe we should have considered that pre-match. So, Eala leads by a set and a break. Shall we have a quick thoughts on Wimbledon? Can I have a quick look at the WTA rankings? And I'm going to give you my kind of thoughts on a sort of power rankings group. Who would be in the sort of first group of favorites? Okay, irrespective of what happens today, I think Rybakina is in that group along with Sabalenka. Is Pegula in that group? Because she was very much in that group for me last year. And she went on and lost first round, kind of inexplicably for me. She actually joked about her record on grass. I think the on-court interviewer said, "Oh, you're so great on grass." And she said, "German grass, yeah." Where, of course, she won Bad Homburg last year, beating eventual Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek. She won Berlin in 2024. She's winning matches again this week in the German capital. But it seems as though she prefers the German grass to the British grass, where she went out first round at Wimbledon last year. And, of course, never been beyond the quarters at Wimbledon. The closest was 2023, I think it was, wasn't it, when she played Vondrousova, and she's up a break in the decider. Spoke to David Witt about that match recently. Anyway, regarding sort of Wimbledon favourites, I think it's just Sabalenka and Rybakina in a group on their own. I know that people will be shouting at the screen right now going, what about defending champion, world number 3, I think she is, isn't she? Iga Swiatek, something like that. Yeah, 3. But for me, she's in the next group where I don't think they're winning Wimbledon, but it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world. And that would be Iga, Jessica, Mira Andreeva, Amanda Anisimova, Elena Svitolina. Maybe Linda Noskova. I said, keep an eye out for Linda. Maybe even Jovic, even. A stretch, maybe. That's it, really. That's the next group. Then the third group, where I have to include them as a contender, but I would be surprised if they win the tournament, would be Svitolina. Or did I include her in the other group? I can't remember now. Mukova, Bencic, Noskova, if you put her in this category. Jovic, if you do put her in this category rather than that second category I highlighted. Madison Keys, probably in that category as well. Good win for her today over Mukova. And I think that's it. I can't put Raducanu or Vekic in there despite some of their heroics in the last week or so. I can't put them in a category of they could win it, but I'd be surprised. That's the third category. Right. Eala here, 30-15 on her serve. I see Nick saying I'd agree, John. Is that like that for me? Is that the sort of more or less categorization I've just proffered? Oh, 27-19 versus lefties. So it's not really because when we look at lefties and compare it to, let's just say that Sabalenka wins 75% of her matches. If we then see that she's beating lefties 75% of the time, then there's nothing to see here, if you like. If you're looking at she wins 75% of her matches, but she's only winning 50% against lefties, then there is something to see, if that makes sense. But you also need a decent sample size of lefties. And it helps if you don't play Rafa Nadal on clay, if you know what I mean, because that can skew those stats too. 40-30, double fault from Elena, from Eala. How big a shock would this be? I think the pre-match predictor was 21% for Eala. And I kind of did sort of lean that way. I did think she could take a set because I think she's getting Rybakina cold. She's also, Eala played a lot more grass court matches than Elena this season because she had those 5 in Birmingham, didn't she? She's also, and this is why one of the sort of the final thing to, I mean, it didn't even need, a case didn't even need to be made, but the case I made for Eala, apart from her game and the successes she's had on the surface, she's also 7-1 on grass in before today, 7-1 on grass in 2026, which is, I mean, that's probably top 1 or 2 players in the world, something like that. Oh, that's a risky second serve from Eala, but she reaps that reward. Fortune favouring the brave there. Hi, Roxana. If you can hit subscribe on the channel, that would be amazing. And also let me know where in the world you are watching from, and then maybe I can help. Maybe. Okay, game point for Eala, and she holds. Big hold for Alex to get to 3-1. She is serving second in this set, and from deuce there, you did sort of fear the worst in terms of the fact that she might get broken back. But a nice body serve there. That's a really good tactic for her at the moment that Rybakina can't respond to. I'm just sharing the draw with you on the screen because actually we need to dial back to the round of 16. So this is the half of the draw for Alex and Rybakina as they change ends. Sorry, they don't change ends. It's Rybakina serving at 1-3. So it will be Svitolina next. And then Noskova or Badosa in the semis. This is all looking quite far into the future because this match still has plenty of legs in it yet, that's for sure. You're in the US. So I don't know, but maybe Tennis Channel. That would be a guesstimate from me. Oh, Rybakina goes into the net. I tell you what, this game is huge. This game is huge because if right now, we talked about the pre-match stats, I think right now you'd have to be saying that Eala's the favourite for the match, right? Up a set and a break, and this far, 3-1 as well. If she goes up a set and 4-1, double break, thank you, Nick. Suddenly that level of likelihood becomes, rather than 60%. Oh, that's a horrible volley from Rybakina on top of the net. Didn't she? Someone who might remember the match better than me, but the Rybakina-Sabalenka epic in Berlin last year. Wasn't there a big moment in that maybe deciding set tiebreak where Rybakina dumps a volley into the net? I always remember Jerome being pretty big on Rybakina's net play, and I'm not as big as he is, put it that way, on a net play. Unforced errors today, 33 off the racket of Rybakina. It's pretty much double the number of Alex Eala. People going, when I said that's double, people are going, I didn't know you could hit 16.5 unforced errors. All right, fair enough. Decent return from Eala there, but that's a really... Oh, Alex! Alex, you lucky tennis player. And I'll tell you why. Not only is she just hit a net cord there, that's going out. That is going out, this from Eala. So look at this backhand. That's going out. The net cord, not only does it bring it back in play, it kills the ball enough for Elena not to be able to get it. Anyway, it is what it is. And it's love 40. Oh, and Rybakina has just missed that first serve out wide. So love 40, second serve. There are invitations and there are invitations. Backhand return onto the forehand of Rybakina. She puts that away. That was a really pressure point. And she did really well because that was difficult, given the circumstances, to put that forehand away as cleanly and easily as she did. Okay, 15-40. 2 more break points, though, to fend off. And it's an ace down the tee, is it? Yeah, 30-40. Is that going to be the screenshot? Is that the screenshot that we need to be getting up there? You know, from love 40, 1-3. Elena Rybakina won this match. Maybe. It's going to be all about this point, I think, in a way. It's funny how 1 point can change so much. There you go. She saves the break point with an unreturned serve from Deuce. So here's what I mean in terms of changing so much. If Eala wins that 1 point, the likelihood of her winning the match is, I don't know, 75, 80%. Whereas right now, just because of that 1 point, the likelihood of her winning the match becomes 60 right now. Is she okay? Eala's just fallen to the ground. Good tennis there from Rybakina to win those 4 points in a row. The first was on a second serve, but I feel like the next 3 were all first serves. Rybakina holds with an ace. Now, psychologically, how much of a blow will that be for Eala? Not just the fact that she had those 3 break points come and go, but the nature of Rybakina's tennis from that moment was extremely ruthless, right? Is ruthless quantifiable? I've just made it quantifiable anyway by calling it extremely. We've got the kiss cam up, as I can see, in the stadium, and there's a couple there that just don't seem to be interested in kissing each other. Or are they going to go for it? She gave him a peck on the cheek. Does that mean that they're not together? I guess it does. Because if they're like been married for years and she's just gave him a peck on the cheek, then yeah, I'm not sure quite how solid that relationship is. Oh, hello. That's a passionate embrace. Should we all be kissing our neighbors? Fortunately, Yuki's not here right now. Ghosty, you got that pillow? Jake has got his cut out of Bruno Fernandes. It is fun. Elena Rybakina is not quite seeing it as fun right now, but maybe she will do if she gets a break back. Well, indeed, Nick, indeed. I'm not ignoring that possibility. I still think if it was my sibling, I wouldn't do anything. I just wouldn't do anything personally, but maybe do a high five or even somehow transmit it. Like, I don't know, is there an international sign to say that you're siblings? I mean, they could be on a first date. And if they're on a first date, I don't know. I'd suggest that that's a positive for the dude who was sort of, you know, probably not quite sure what to do, and he gets a little kiss on the cheek. 15 love. Love being the operative word, perhaps. One of the best puns or use of the English language since I mentioned how Raducanu beat Blinkova in the blink of an eye. Okay, an hour and 13 minutes on the clock. Eala serving here at 15 love. Misses the first serve down the tee. That body serve, I mean, it was kind of into the forehand, kind of into the body. But I think Eala's serve, listen, we don't have many good serving days from her, but they do, of course, occur a bit more on the grass than other surfaces. But I think she's serving pretty well. And in the first set, at least, it was 71% of her first serves landing in, which is, yeah, I think given the obvious lack of pace on her serve, is a good benchmark for her to aim for. As I say that, she's just missed her first serve here at 30 love. Ooh, Eala goes long there. 30-15. Ace down the tee from Alex Eala. 40-15, 2 game points. I mean, she's only been broken once in a set and a half against arguably the best grass court player in the world. You do the math. Wow. And again, good serve. 4-2. There was something interesting as well about comfort on the grass. I actually just think as well with grass to some extent is every single person in the world is uncomfortable on it. It's about how you deal with that discomfort, if that makes sense. Everybody is uncomfortable with a dodgy bounce, a low bounce, you know, the speed with which the ball comes at you. Generally, everyone is uncomfortable with that, right? So then it's just like, how much can you deal with that discomfort? And some players are better than others at it, let's say. And Alex Eala is one of the best, especially where she's at on other surfaces, in particular clay. Oh, she's just misread that serve, though. 30 love. I don't think this match is done by any stretch of the imagination, because let's assume we get to 4-3. You know, how long can Alex keep up this serving performance? You will say, of course, on the plus side, she's only got to do it for 2 more games, but double fault, she could do with a few more gifts like that. And what about that gift on break point at 6-5, but she's down a break point, and Rybakina has that forehand that goes long. Rybakina wins that point. We go to the tie break. The momentum would be with Elena. That's not to say she wins the tie break, but the momentum would be with her. Unreturned serve there from Rybakina. It's not a great return game here for Alex. 40-15. Do make sure you hit that like button, people. And if you are new to the channel, please do hit subscribe. Good serve out wide there from Elena. And she holds for 4-3. Yeah, so do hit that subscribe button. We might, during this stream, get to 31,200. We probably need a third set for that. I don't know. But if you do hit subscribe right now, you'll see that number tick over. You'll see it happen in real time. And you'll know that you can make a difference. As I see Elena Rybakina munching on a banana. Also hit that like button. Let me know in the live chat as well if you can. How many likes have we got on this? Leonardo Mapper, thank you very much. I don't know if you're addressing me here when you're saying babe. As soon as somebody hits subscribe, I'm putting the scoreboard back on the screen, all right? So at the moment, it says 31,183 subscribers. As soon as that says 31,184, then I'm putting the score back up on the screen. And you'll see just below this screen, you'll see if it says subscribe, then that means you've not subscribed. And we'd really appreciate it if you did hit the subscribe. Ah, there you go. If it says subscribed, that means you've already subscribed, and we appreciate it very much. Anyway, now that someone has just subscribed, I will put the scoreboard back up on the screen, particularly as the players are just returning to the court. Alex Eala is serving. She is up a set and 4-3 with a break. Thank you also for that latest subscriber. So she's 2 service holds away from the win. It feels like just every point now is massive, right? And she's hit the first serve into the net. So a second serve here. Pretty decent return, that. Now she's on the backhand. Alex onto the forehand of Rybakina. That's a good forehand from Elena. And she's got the court position, but she's gone long with that forehand. Very similar point that to the break point that Rybakina had when Eala was serving at 5-6. Very similar, because Eala had lost the court position and there was a semi-open court for Rybakina to aim at, but she went long with the forehand, and she went long with the forehand once again just there. And that was a big point. Eala goes love 15 down here, and she's under pressure suddenly. 15 love, and there's just that little cushion, just a tiny cushion now as she edges closer to potentially winning this match. Second serve here at 15 love. Down the tee. Forehand return is pretty big from Elena, but the pace is being absorbed. Oh, is that a forehand winner from Eala, or is that missed? Wow. Alex Eala, take a bow. She absorbs the pace on the return pretty well. She's got to do the same again here, but somehow turns defense into attack with that cross-court forehand, fizzes across the court and lands just inside the tram line. And we see the world number 2 floundering. 30 love. Eala once again missing the first serve. I think this is the 3rd point in a row missing that first serve. So, backhand up the line now. Assad here is watching in Ecuador. 40 love. Alex Eala. She is 5 points away from winning. Tick them off. Tick them off, yeah? Great return from Rybakina. Huge forehand from her as well. 40-15. Again, Alex just about absorbed the pace on that, but it did set up quite nicely. Nevertheless, there was still some work for Rybakina to do with that forehand. And she executed it perfectly. Oh, a forehand return there. Goes into the net, and listen to the crowd. Fourth drive. 5-3. Eala leads. She is 1 game and 4 points away. Now, those 4 points may come on the Rybakina serve, or she may be made to serve this out. Hi, Jesse. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching from the Philippines. Do make sure you hit the like button, and if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. Okay. Decent return that from Eala. That's on her forehand, and she goes pretty big on the forehand, but it's well defended by Rybakina, but she's going to have to defend again, and she can't defend on the backhand side. Goes into the net. Love 15. I told you to tick off those points from Eala's perspective. She is now 3 points away from the win. Love 15. An hour and 23 minutes on the clock here in Berlin. Eala is going to have a second serve. That'll be welcome from her perspective as well. Where are you going to go with this second serve, Rybakina? Oh! Was that a funny bounce or was it a huge kick? Don't normally get that level of kick on the grass, but I know I heard Nick a few days ago in WTA Weekly talking about the bounce in Berlin being a little bit higher. Well, there was an example of it. 15-all. Ace down the tee, 30-15. 193 kilometers an hour, that serve. So now, 30-15. And it looking more likely that Alex will have to serve this out. Misses the first serve, Rybakina. Boy, if we get to 30-all here. Because I do think Alex would love to get this done on the turn. And the backhand, I saw that coming. As soon as that ball landed back on the backhand side, for some reason I thought Rybakina's body position there and contortion, if I've got the right words, didn't look good. And I thought she's not getting this backhand over the net. And it's exactly what happened. 30-all. So, again, those of you ticking off the points. Elena Rybakina's hit 39 unforced errors. She's 2 points away from the loss. And that first serve is missing by some distance. So a second serve here at 30-all. It's either going to be game point or match point. What's it going to be? Double fault. Match point. Alex Eala on the Elena Rybakina serve. This has been far from the best performance from Elena in the world. That is for sure, by her very high standards, especially on the grass. But Alex Eala has been just about flawless today, particularly since going 4-1 down at the beginning of the match. Anyway, here we go. 40-30. Where are you going with this serve, Rybakina? Out wide. Forehand return. Rybakina on the forehand puts it away. Deuce. Cool as a cucumber. Deuce. Okay. Rybakina serves out wide. Backhand return. Just going to land in. Huge forehand winner there from Elena Rybakina. Clutch play from the 2022 Wimbledon champion. Not won a Berlin title yet in her career. Just trying to think who the Berlin champions have been. Last year was Vondrousova. Year before was Pegula. Was it Jabeur as well one year? Okay, second serve here. Forehand return goes into the net. So Rybakina holds, saves a match point en route, and therefore Alex Eala is going to have to try and serve this out. Now, do you want to know the good news or the bad news from Alex's perspective? The good news is she's only been broken once in this entire match, and that was right near the beginning of the match as she went 4-1 down. The bad news is this is trying to serve it out for a quarterfinal in Berlin against, I think, the best grass court player in the world on the women's side. So, yeah. How is your nerve, Alex Eala, and how is your serve? So, since the tournament moved to grass, which I think is 2021, the champions have been Samsonova, Jabeur, Kvitova, Pegula, and Vondrousova. Who is going to be adding their name to that list? Interestingly, none of those players that I've just highlighted went on to win Wimbledon. Not the year that they won the title anyway. Jabeur got to the final in 2022, having won the title. And Vondrousova won, of course, the Wimbledon title in 2023. But the year that she won this Berlin title in 2025, what did she do last year at Wimbledon? Vondrousova. She lost second round to Emma Raducanu. Right. Okay, let's hone in on this because this is a huge moment now. Alex Eala is serving for the match. Forehand return. Forehand from Alex. Good depth on that, but it's really good play from... Oh, and that's a loose shot there from Alex Eala. Love 15. Not the start to this service game that she will have wanted. This is a real mental challenge now for Alex Eala. She had love 40 on the Rybakina serve to go up a double break in this set. She also had a match point on the Rybakina serve just now. And on both occasions, Rybakina responded. Now, serving for the match, she's love 15 down. Oh, that's unlucky. Ace down the tee, but it hit the net as it went over the top of the net, but it barely touched the net. Anyway, still a first serve here, love 15. Body serve incoming, perhaps. Just about into the backhand, actually, and it doesn't get returned. So, 15 all. Eala, again, counting down those points away from victory. She's been as close as 1 point away with that match point she just had on the Rybakina serve. She is now 3 points away. This time, though, it's on her serve. Backhand return is good from Rybakina, and Eala can't deal with it. 15-30. And I'm out of water. Okay, Eala is serving at 15-30. Ace down the tee. 30 all. Listen, she's been getting a huge percentage, at least in the first set, her first serves in. She gets 2 more first serves in here. I think she probably wins the match. But that's what it's about, right? Your nerve and your serve. Well, I thought that first serve landed out. Anyway, the rally's ongoing. And a loose forehand, not for the first time today, from Elena Rybakina. And we have another match point for Alex Eala. The first one came on the Rybakina serve just a few moments ago at 30-40, and Rybakina was clutched to win the next 3 points in a row. We now have a second match point for Alex Eala, but this time it's on her serve. Once again, I ask the question, how is your serve and how is your nerve? 40-30, an hour and 31 minutes. Eala to serve here. Match point for position in the quarterfinals here in Berlin. Where are you going to go with this first serve? First serve lands in, but it's a good return from Rybakina. Now she's on the backhand. She's not going to make it, and Alex Eala gets the straight sets win. She goes, come on, as she beats, in my opinion, the best player in the world on this surface. 7-5, 6-5. And I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tennis player that has been called uncomfortable on grass by certain sections of the media who have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And certainly shouldn't be having a microphone and a mouthpiece when it comes to tennis if you watch so little tennis that you don't understand. This is someone who is 8-1 now on this surface this year. This is someone who's had championship points on this surface at a 250. This is someone who has won a 125 on this surface. This is someone who's only been playing professional tennis on this surface for a couple of years now. She is an unbelievable grass court player whose serve is accentuated on this surface and whose return is rewarded on this surface and who can move pretty well on this surface and has just beaten the Wimbledon champion of 2022. Now, I still rank Elena Rybakina as the favorite, or certainly one of the top 2 favorites going into Wimbledon this year. But for Alex Eala, you can take a bow because you have just beaten Donna Vekic, who won the Queen's title last week in London. And now you've just beaten Elena Rybakina, who won the Wimbledon title in 2022. And both of them in 2 sets, albeit 2 tight sets. We're going to be looking at some of the stats from this match shortly, but I will remind you of just about how this came about. Alex Eala was only broken on serve once in this entire match, right? Broken once. And that was in the early stages as she went down 4-1. But from going down 4-1, she then breaks back. She then breaks Rybakina at 5-all, and she then serves that out to get 7-5 and win the first set. Bit fortunate, huge moment in the match when she's down break point trying to serve out that first set. And Rybakina has a fairly easy put away forehand down the line that she puts long. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed. And then it gets to juice, and ultimately Eala gets that done. She then goes up an early break. She then has love 40 to go up a double break, but can't do it. She then has a match point on the Rybakina serve, but can't do it, but digs deep and wins in straight sets. Here she is now.
What did he tell you? I know, I just said, oh my God, we were just screaming, and my mom was there too, and I don't know. I'm really happy. Yeah. This was an incredible performance. You just beat the world number 2 on maybe her favorite surface, on grass courts. What did you think of the match? Oh, I am a little foggy right now. I think, I'm still shaking, and I was shaking in the match point too. But no, I'm really happy with today, of course.
Stay with us because we're going to be here a while yet.
Either way, I think there were really tight moments in both sets, and of course she's an amazing player, and yeah, she's the one to beat. So
she is the one to beat.
I'm happy to have been able to share the court with her again. You were so good today. You were down 4-1 in the first set. She started off firing cannons from serve, from forehand, backhand. What would you say changed after being down 4-1? I think she really started on fire and she came out hot. I think I was able to get a couple of free points with my serve, and I think that helped also. And just some good returns, she did. I don't know how many aces in the first couple of games, so I think getting the point in play was a big help for me. Well, speaking of return, you are one of the best returners on tour. Today, yes? You absolutely are.
She is one of the best returners on tour.
The best server on tour. What would you say is the secret to a good return, even against somebody that serves as well as Elena? I think you have to give yourself grace while also being brave. And I think for me, that's really tough. Yeah, I think for me, returning and my game in general, a highlight word would be to be brave, and it makes a big difference when I'm able to do that. You were so brave today. You played so well. Alexandra Eala into the quarterfinals, beats the world number 2.
Okay, so Alex Eala is through to the quarterfinals in Berlin after a straight sets win. Yes, a straight sets win over Elena Rybakina. We reflect on this match just briefly. Thank you for all of you that are joining us right now. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. There it is. If you can hit that subscribe button, that would be much appreciated as we reflect on this marvelous win. Another straight sets win for Alex Eala. After her straight sets win over Donna Vekic in the first round in Berlin, she backs it up with another straight sets win. This time, even more impressive, perhaps, over Elena Rybakina, given the nature of the opponent. Yeah, similar scorelines, of course, actually. In fact, were they similar or identical? Identical, wasn't it? 7-5, 6-4 over Vekic, and then 7-5, 6-4 over Rybakina. And she's going to be playing Elena Svitolina in the next round. We're going to look forward to that match in a moment, but I still want to reflect on where Alex is at, both in terms of this tournament, but also in general. She is now, for the season on grass, she has won 8 matches and lost 1. I cannot overemphasize just how impressive 8-1 is as a ratio on any surface in any moment. 8 wins and 1 loss. That is kind of like, top player in the world sort of form. Albeit, there is an asterisk, I get it. 5 of those 8 wins came at a 1-2-5. But she won the tournament in Birmingham. Okay, some match stats for you guys. I'm going to also share them with you on the screen as well before we look forward to her quarterfinal with Elena Svitolina. So the match stats are, of course, the most important stat of all is that she won by the exact same scoreline, 7-5, 6-4, that she had in her first round match with Donna Vekic, but this time against Elena Rybakina. Here are those stats as I promised. I'm going to share them with you right now. So, no surprise that she was out-aced. She even highlighted that, of course, in her post-match interview there, where it was sometimes difficult just to get her racket on the return, but she did highlight just how important it is to be brave on return, and that ambition is rewarded on the grass a lot more than it is on the clay. 4 double faults from Rybakina. That's not too bad over 2 sets. 69% of Alex Eala's first serves landing in. That is massive, and that is huge for her. And that's what she needs to aim for when she's coming up against players like Rybakina anyway. She can get away with 50, 55, 60 maybe against other opponents, but when you're playing the world number 2 on maybe her best surface, then yeah, she had 71% overall in the first set, so it did drop a bit in the second set. Unforced errors, though, for Elena Rybakina today. 41 unforced errors. That is no good. And, of course, a lot of those came on the forehand side, and a lot of them came in big moments. We saw just how relieved Eala was on a couple of occasions when Rybakina, there was 2 points that were just kind of identical at big moments. One in the first set when Rybakina had a breakback point as Eala was trying to serve out the first set at 6-5. And Rybakina's up in the rally, and she has a fairly routine forehand up the line to put away. It was a short ball, but she put it long. And there was a similar moment towards the end of that second set when Rybakina did exactly the same on a big point then. And that was 2 of the 41 unforced errors, and they were 2 huge moments. If she wins 1 or both of those points, Rybakina, because tennis can be literally just 1 point, changing a match, who knows what happens. Eala broken just once today. That's huge. And also, partly down to the 69% of her first serves landing in, but also the quality was there on some of those serves. Some of those body serves, Rybakina couldn't deal with. And that is where Alex is rewarded on the grass compared to other surfaces. Her serve is not as big a weakness on grass. Her return is bigger than ever on grass. And therefore, surface. As we see here, that's a point from the other day when she played John Beckett in the first round. Serve, yeah, I think the serve might be improving as well. Very good, Jake. Yeah, very good. Another reminder, please do hit that subscribe button as we head closer to 32,000 subscribers. Yeah. Anyway, Eala, back to Eala. So yeah. So she's won that match today, and yeah, I think the second set was a lot about mental toughness as well. Because, listen, think about it. She had love 40 on the Rybakina serve to go up a double break, right? And then Elena shows why she's a champion with some clutch play, with some clutch serving and excellent winners, and gets out of that hole and holds. And suddenly, I think that was 4-3, I think. So rather than being 5-2, Eala double break advantage and going to have 2 shots at serving it out, it's suddenly 4-3, and Eala's got to hold serve twice to potentially win. She holds serve to get to 5-3, and then Rybakina has to save a match point at 30-40. Again, some clutch play. Again, showing us why she's the number 2 in the world and won 2 Grand Slams, including one early on this year in Australia. And gets out of that hole with 3 points in a row with, again, some clutch play. And you're thinking, okay, this is tough now for Alex. All about the first 2 or 3 points when trying to serve it out. And Eala goes down 15-30, and you're thinking, ooh. But then it's Alex's turn to say, look, I'm here, and I'm here to be reckoned with. I'm a serious tennis player, and especially on this surface. And she's the one who comes up with some great tennis play and some great grass court play. As she wins this match in Berlin. So I did say that we're going to look forward now to her quarterfinal with Elena Svitolina. One thing I will say is I am almost certain now that she's going to be seeded for Wimbledon because Alex Eala's live ranking with that win, listen to this. She is up to number 31 in the world in the live rankings, okay? That is now basically guaranteeing her she's going to be seeded, okay? Because you need to be in the top 32 in the world to be seeded. We already know the absences of Hailey Baptiste, you can see on my screen right now, and we know Victoria Bocco. Both of those players are injured and therefore not going to be playing Wimbledon. So actually, you just need to be in the top 34. And with that win today, she guarantees a seeding at the upcoming tournament in Wimbledon because her points gained in Eastbourne next week, well, I'm pretty sure she won't be playing tennis next week as she prepares for Wimbledon. Now, I think she should have gone out early in Berlin, potentially today. Maybe she would have played next week. But I'm pretty sure Alex Eala will not want to play again. Having played one more week of grass court tennis compared to most of her peers with that WTA 125 in Birmingham from a couple of weeks ago, where she won the tournament there. And given the number of matches she's playing, she's winning a lot of tennis matches. If winning means you've got to play more, which is why she's played nine matches on this surface, whereas some players would not have even played 2 or 3 matches on this surface already. I'm pretty sure she won't play next week, irrespective of what happens in that quarterfinal against Svitolina. Should we have a look forward now to that quarterfinal with Svitolina? Where let's check out the head-to-head between these two players. Also, let's have a quick look as well at where Svitolina's at in terms of her tennis. Of course, did she make the quarterfinals, I think, at the French Open before losing to Marta Kostyuk, her compatriot? So, yeah, playing some great tennis this year is Svitolina again. She won a 1,000 this year. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. Oh, of course, she won Rome, didn't she? Did Svitolina a few weeks ago? Of course, today, but she's very capable of the where she's had really good runs at Wimbledon in her career. These two have never played each other before. Eala is playing Bad Homburg as a wild card. Okay. Do you think she'll still play? I'm not sure she will. I'm not sure it would be wise. I think she's had enough tennis. Nick, by the way, you're welcome if you want to come on and talk a few minutes, but you might not be able to. I appreciate that. You're welcome to reflect on this with Rybakina or helping forward to the Elena match, where, as I said, they've never played before. But let's have a look at what Svitolina's been up to this week in Berlin. And of course, now I'm reminded that Nick, I think, tipped Svitolina for the title. It's a huge gamble, I think, more so than even a slam. I think it's difficult to tell going into some of these 500 before a slam. But I just thought, really, for Svitolina, it might be all about the first round against Kalinskaya, a former finalist in Berlin, but I think he had championship points against Pegula a couple of weeks ago. A match that I watched alongside Mario in the German capital in the stadium with Stefan Graf. Anyway, that was Kalinskaya, but of course, Kalinskaya retired hurt. I haven't heard any more news on Anna regarding her health. Fingers crossed she's okay and going to be fit and firing for Wimbledon. Once that match was overcame, if you will, she then has to play Eva Lise, who beat Frech in the first round, but Svitolina, I think, was always going to be the favourite there against the German, and she came through that in straight sets, 6-3, 6-2, and now she'll be playing Alex Eala. I think this is Svitolina's first tournament on grass. She didn't play Queens, no, she didn't know. So we saw her in recent weeks. She's been getting a lot of wins at tournaments. She wins in Rome, the Italian Open. You can see some of these scores on the screen. That, of course, is on clay, but still, I think form is important, whether it's whichever the surface. She then gets more wins, of course, in Paris. She gets 4 wins there before losing in 3 sets to Marta Kostyuk. Then has a week or two off after 10 days off, more or less, after the French Open. Doesn't play either the WTA tournaments last week in Queens. And where was the other one? There was a 250 somewhere last week, wasn't there? Where was the other one? Was it somewhere in England? WTA Tour calendar. Nottingham this week. What was the other tournament last week? Sorry, I know I'm digressing a bit here, but I'm just bugging me now. Someone's writing in the live chat right now what the tournament was last week. Oh, November Open, of course, yeah. So she chose not to play the November Open. It's a surprise, I would suggest. Vekic winning the one in Queens as a lucky loser. Qualified. I think she lost to Blink for qualified, but then got blown off the court by Rybakina, and then Vekic went on to take the title. Vekic, of course, is very important when it comes to Alex Eala, because Vekic is someone that Eala has then beaten here in Berlin. 7-5-6-4. She got the identical scoreline against maybe that win and maybe both of those wins were unusually for Alex Eala, because often we look at this element of her game as being a reason for her losing. But maybe those wins were because of the serve. Yeah, you heard me. Because of the serve, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, sure, the return was excellent. She's one of the best returns in the world. Oh, I keep cutting out, do I? That stops. I think it might be because of the audio on the other screen. I'll take that off. Maybe that's contributing to my negative audio. I'm now going to share the head-to-head on the screen. Maybe that's a better thing to share. So, Nick, I did actually ask if you wish to join, but I understand if you can't. But you're more than welcome to jump on, which I think you have the access to. So, Svitolina coming through against Evelise in straight sets. Alex Eala coming through today against Elena Rybakina. What do I think is going to happen? Once again, I think it's important for Alex Eala to get a high percentage of her first serves in. Today, she got in 69%, and I think it was a huge thing for her to win this match. It was much lower. Yeah, I think it's because I had the audio, Nick, on the other screen. Let me know if you want to join me. Against Vekic, it didn't need to be so high. I think it was below 60 against Vekic. It might have been about 54%, but she was playing beautifully against Donna, and Donna was just a bit leggy after that title-winning run in Queens. And I think that helped. Yeah, I think we often see Alex, don't we, in tournaments, just eventually run out of steam and come up against a top opponent. And eventually the leg strapping is there, and we see her eventually come undone as a result. Not only that, but I also think she struggles against players that play with aggression and margin. I think that has a big influence. I'm thinking about some of her losses that she's had. I'm thinking about Noskova at Indian Wells. I'm thinking about Murkova in Miami, and I'm also thinking about the Coco Gauff loss she had in the Middle East. And I think that might be a problem against Svitolina. I haven't really considered freshness being a big issue, because I think maybe for Alex, the more consecutive days that she was playing, if you think about, I think she played like maybe 6 matches or 7 matches in 8 or 9 days across Birmingham and Queens. I think eventually that was going to catch up with her, although the loss to Eva Jovic she had was also because Eva was playing out of this world grass court tennis, as I know she can. And ultimately, where Jovic is at and where Eala is at, Jovic is just ahead of her. Simple as that right now, particularly on grass, but I think just in general. You might, of course, say the same about Rybakina, and yet Eala won that match. But there's a couple of things. I thought Eala, maybe the first set was huge for her because of Rybakina not having played any matches on grass. until last week in Queens, where she lost pretty early or early-ish to Katie Bolter, and then hadn't played in the Berlin tournament at all, and probably would have arrived later than Alex in Berlin, because Alex would have lost earlier than Rybakina did in Berlin, if that makes sense. So I think that helped a little bit today in terms of, okay, Alex goes down 4-1, but once she gets back on serve, there was some momentum there and she took it across the line. I still thought Rybakina was winning in 3 sets, even when Eala gets that super early break in the second set. But anyway, the way she got through that mentally was very impressive today. Love 40 up as well on Rybakina's serve in one of those service games. Yeah, don't worry, Nick. No worries. I assumed that was the case. When she had love 40 on Rybakina's serve and had a chance to go double break, and she couldn't take that, mainly because Rybakina just was so clutch. Then she has match point on the Rybakina serve, and I thought, oh. And then I thought, okay, 15-30 down when you're trying to serve it out against Elena Rybakina. And she did say that she was shaking a bit, which, well, she's only human. But she served it out very impressively to 30 to set up this quarterfinal with Elena Svitolina. I do think this is going to be a step too far for Alex. I think that. I thought Rybakina would be a step too far. I thought the Vekic match was winnable for Alex because of where she was at. I thought eventually Rybakina would find her groove today. And maybe if Elena had got that break point back that she had at 5-6, I think we might well have seen a different match going into that tie break and maybe the early stages of the second set. But once Eala got over the line there and then got the break, well, she did very impressively to hold on. Maybe if Alex doesn't serve it out as well, which was a huge danger at 15-30. Ifs, buts, and maybes, Alex is just playing probably the best tennis of her career. I mean, last season, she wins 2 matches on clay. This year, she wins 4 matches on clay. She's won a WTA 125 this year already, earlier in her year than she did last year. Yes, she won a WTA 125 in Guadalajara, but that came in September. She's already had a career high ranking of 29 this year. I think if she either beats Svitolina or if she gets a win at Wimbledon, maybe, or 2, she's going to obviously lose those points from Eastbourne if she doesn't play Bad Homburg, or if she does play Bad Homburg but doesn't have a deep run there. But yeah, 8 wins and 1 loss on grass. But is it going to be 9 wins and 1 loss after the Svitolina match? I think no. Do I think it's going to be close? Yes. 2 tight sets or 3 sets win for Svitolina. But do I think there's no shame in that? Absolutely. That's where I see it at. I do think Svitolina will have just too much for Alex. But Alex is playing with, what do you call it, with house money right now, given that she's won these matches over Vekic and Rybakina. What was the tweet from Jose Morgado? One of the biggest wins of Alex's career. Maybe the biggest? I mean, Rybakina's world number 2, right? It's her 5th top 10 win for Alex, and I think they might, certainly one of them was against Paolini this year. It's her 3rd in 2026, and it's her 2nd ever top 3 win. Of course, she beat Iga, didn't she? I'm not sure where Iga was ranked, maybe 2 or 3 when she beat Iga in Miami last year. But yeah, Eric Fuelda here says hypocrite. Now, I don't know if that's me or if that's somebody else. But interesting take, especially as it's not really like hypocrite because of X, Y, Z. But maybe Eric is just angry, either angry because I've predicted Alex to lose, or he's angry that I'm covering tennis at all. I don't know. Or maybe he's talking about himself. I don't know. Eric, let me know how you're feeling. I feel as though you're a little bit frustrated right now. Sorry about that. Anyway, I think that ultimately Svitolina will get over the line, but we'll see. Thank you for the Alex watch along. Superb win, Alex. I'm so happy. Svitolina doesn't commit a lot of unforced errors, so it's a lot tougher. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Music ramblings by Eben. I think that is something. When she comes up against someone erratic like an Ostapenko, I know she lost to Ostapenko earlier on this year in Linz, but she also beat her in Miami last year. I'm also thinking like Yastremska, who I think Alex has had some success with in the past because Alex can frustrate her. But Alex's tennis on a quick grass court compared to hard court is slightly different, where it's not just about frustrating her opponent, it's about bringing out her weapons, i.e. the return. So, yeah. And once the rally gets going, and she highlighted this in her post-match interview today, once the rally gets going, then Alex is an aggressive player. It's all about getting the rally going. If she can get to that neutral position, then she'll start unleashing big backhands and forehands across the court. I think the slice and the drop shot are works in progress, but there's some optimism there. And maybe she's even turned a corner on the serve. I just don't think it's going to be quite enough against someone of the caliber of Svitolina. And that's a really good point. It is something that's sort of been somewhere at the back of my mind as I preview this match. The unforced errors from Svitolina are not quite so prominent. Okay, thank you for joining. We will now play an interview that we did with Alex Eala last year. So hopefully you can enjoy that interview. If you've not seen it before, you're going to now watch it. And keep going in the live chat and let us know your thoughts both on this match today, but also maybe Eala or Svitolina or Rybakina or anything else in tennis. Do share those thoughts in the live chat. But in the meantime, enjoy this interview.
Ready? Play.
All right, Alex, thanks for joining Talking Tennis today. Thank you. First thing is just tell us about your win that you had yesterday in the singles.
Well, it was a tough win, definitely. A lot of challenges with the weather, changing conditions. So I think it was a great way to start off the clay season.
Cool. Talking of clay, where are we at with your game and your preference? Clay, grass, hard? What's your sort of preferred condition?
I prefer hard court. It's the one I grew up in, and I think my game naturally is more suited to that. But I've been playing on clay for a long time as well. It's true that the clay season is shorter, much shorter than the hard season. But I love clay, and I'm just trying to get it to love me back.
Good. You're going to be playing Udvari next. Do you know much about her? And tell us what you're thinking ahead of that match.
I've seen her around quite often. I've never played her before, but I think that's adds to the excitement of the match. But trying to go in with the same mindset as the match before, trying to stick with my shots and trust my tennis.
Doubles with Katie today. Of course, you lost, but you beat her in Miami. Did you talk about that match at all?
No, we haven't. She did congratulate me on that whole week, and she's a great sportsman. I think she's super nice, and we get along well. So I really enjoyed that doubles, even though we couldn't end up taking the win. But it's fun with her. Yeah.
How has life changed since that Miami run for you, or has it not changed at all?
A lot has changed technically, but I don't really feel. At the same time, not much has changed. It's hard to explain. I've had the same work ethic since I was young, so nothing in terms of how I go about my day has really changed. Of course, there's a big difference between last month and this month in terms of my results, my ranking, but when you focus on the things that I need to focus on, there's nothing much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel any more pressure?
I think it's normal to feel some pressure after a big run like this. But tennis is a game that has a lot of pressure in whichever moment that you're in your life, and I think that I've done the best I could with my mentality and talking with my team about how I can handle it, and hopefully that shows on court.
The win over Iga, is that the best moment of your career so far, would you say?
Of course. I think all of those, all the wins that week, and even the match against Jessica was each such important moments in my life.
Yeah, sure. What about this? World number 1 or Grand Slam, if you could choose one?
Grand Slam.
Okay.
Hands down.
Which one?
Wimbledon.
Okay,
Okay.
nice.
But both. I mean, if I could, I would choose both. Yeah.
Well,
But
oh,
Grand
of
Slam.
course, yeah. Okay, have you heard about these comparisons maybe with Leila Fernandez? I mean, obviously in terms of your game, you're both lefties, you both sometimes take the ball early. Are you familiar with these comparisons, and how do you feel about that?
No, I'm not really familiar with
Okay.
those comparisons, but I think Leila's a great player. Obviously, she did the final in US Open a couple of years back, so she's a trailblazer in her own way. I think I'm not so close with her. We've had a couple of interactions, but she seems like a nice girl, so not mad about that comparison at all. She's a good player. Yeah.
Have you got a favorite shot?
It
If I'm going to
differs.
give you a shot, and this is match point to win Wimbledon, what is it?
That's a good question. They asked me which one I prefer the other day, forehand and backhand. I was also kind of on the edge. I would say maybe a backhand cross court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cross court winner.
But yeah, I don't know. It really depends. There's so many things that can happen during the match. Depends on the opponent, the court. But yeah, I think that one has been there from the beginning. Like now, I definitely have a lot of weapons aside from that that I've been working on. But I feel like that backhand just came natural from the beginning. Yeah.
And have you ever dreamt, and then you fall to the grass, for example, at Wimbledon? Have you ever dreamt about
I think
that?
everybody's dreamt of that. Yeah, I have. So yes.
All right, I'm going to show you some pictures now, and I want you to tell me the first thing that kind of comes into your mind, or just some of your thoughts. So.
Yeah, this was, I believe, in Florida,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. I won like the Little Mo Grand Slam. It was, you had to get that trophy. The trophy, as you can see, is bigger than I am.
Yeah.
It was like the tallest trophy ever presented in junior tennis or something like that. That was a big thing, and we had to take it apart and ship it back home in a box. Yeah, so I bet that was difficult for my parents, but there's my brother as well. He competed also, and he was like 2 points away from winning that same trophy.
Oh.
Yeah, but such a happy memory in my young childhood. Yeah.
Do you ever think about some of these moments when you're on the court? Do you ever think about your childhood? Do you ever think about something like this?
No, on the court, no, I don't think about it. Definitely comes to mind when I start reminiscing on my whole journey, on what I've achieved in the past month. But on the court, it doesn't pop
Cool.
into my head. Yeah.
Okay, Amazon Prime documentary, that's what this... Because this is when I first became aware of you. What are your thoughts now, a few years later, on that?
I don't know. I think a lot of people got to know me through this documentary. So obviously a big privilege to be part of that. A lot of people will come, oh, are you the girl from Amazon Prime? Yes, that's me. So now hopefully I'll be known for more things than that.
For sure.
But this is it's so nice to have these memories and these moments captured on camera.
Yeah, cool. US Open junior title. I was there when you won
You
that.
were there?
Yes, I was. Yeah,
Okay.
just as a fan, but yeah, I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was such a precious moment. I feel it was so full of emotion, and yeah, I started crying, and I feel like, of course, Junior Grand Slam doesn't guarantee anything for the future, but it's a huge achievement, you know, and it's still a decoration, you know. I think just the word Grand Slam and to win it in those courts, I feel. Representing my country, it was a big deal. Yeah.
Cool. Actually, representing your country is something I want to speak to you about, because this image here is sort of also about being from the Philippines and being a professional tennis player. What does it mean?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest advantage of representing my country is the community, you know, and the pride that I'm able to bring when I do well to my people, and they come out, they support, they really make the effort. So I'm so appreciative. Yeah.
Cool. Next one is graduation from the Rafa Nadal Academy. Obviously, Iga and Rafa were there present. What did that mean to you when that happened?
I was super excited because every year I would see who was the celebrity guest or who was the guest speaker at each graduation. And I remember there was Roger, I think Paul Gasol was there one year, and I was so excited when it was Iga because she had just come off a slam win or something.
Yeah, I think the
Roland
French Open was the
Garros,
week
yeah.
before because Rafa just lost to Novak, I remember.
Yeah, I remember, and no, it was super happy, and I think Iga told me that I remember that she said she'll see me around on tour, and I was like so excited, you know, and it happened. Yeah, it definitely happened.
She did see you around. This is after the win against Iga.
I know. I've watched that video so many times, and it's just so heartwarming. I really tried to just stay in the moment and remember everything, how it felt to be there. But funny story, like I can't really remember anymore. Like I can't really remember what I saw or that moment right after the ball went out. So, but
Do you remember how you were feeling or thinking on match point, or is it almost like you're watching just the video and you don't remember it?
no, yeah, I do. I remember. Yeah, I think I felt
It was on the turn, right?
Yeah, normally when match point comes against these big players, you know, you're trying to get yourself to stop thinking about what would happen if you win, because, you know, but those thoughts didn't come to me at all during the match. I feel I was in a state of such focus that, you know, and I couldn't really believe it when I won. Yeah.
Cool. Then this went viral. This moment that you had afterwards, where obviously you'd lost to Jessica, but you know I was watching this on TV and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I mean, obviously, hopefully you can have more of this. But again, what do you remember about this few minutes after you'd lost to Jessica?
This was such a sweet moment for me. Let me tell you, I'm definitely not normally like this when I lose.
No.
But this was definitely a special circumstance. I remember the last couple of match points, I was able to save a match point, you know.
Yeah.
And I just tried to prolong the match as long as I could because I knew that this is where I wanted to be. And then after I sat down, after the handshake, I looked up and just so many flags of the Philippines and so many Filipinos. It was past midnight, they were there to stay, and I had just had the best run of my career so far. So there was so much to be happy about in that moment, yeah.
Cool. So that's that. Now, this is quite recently, I believe. I think this is after your run. But also I want to know about Rafa and the influence both his academy, but even Rafa as a player has had on you.
Well, I've been there since I was 13, so obviously deeply rooted with the academy. Rafa has been a role model, you know, someone to look up to for so long, and I think the values match the values that the academy instills matched with the values that my family had when they were raising me. So that's why they felt so comfortable to send me over there. And of course, they have a part in a big part in my game. Yeah.
And Rafa the player?
Rafa the player.
Did you enjoy his career, or were you a fan?
Of course. I don't know who doesn't enjoy Rafa as a player. I remember I watched him one time in center court in French Open when I was young. So before even going to the academy, and it's crazy to see the intensity he has and the way he hits the ball. So much to look up to.
Cool. What about here in Huerash? What would it mean? I mean, you've not won a WTA title yet. What would that mean potentially if you were to have a good week here, for example, and maybe even lift the trophy?
It would mean a lot. I think right now what I need is a lot of hours on court, a lot of hours playing at a level that, I'm happy with, and a level that I know I'm capable of. So this is a tournament that will help me do that.
Cool. Last question. I'd like to know about some sort of future goals, maybe even just for 2025. Do you look at sort of things like, you know, obviously you're going to be in the slam draw, you're going to be in the main draw now at the French Open. Perhaps that was a goal. But what about now? Because the goals never end, right?
Of course, no, of course. My original goal for 2025 was to finish in top 100 or at least to touch it. And now that I have touched it, it's a lot of new territory for me. So I'm trying to take it match by match, and I feel that's also why this tournament is important, because I'm coming off from such a good week, and I'm starting the clay season. So I give myself the space to figure it out, and then we'll see what my next set of goals are. I'm sure my team already has their own set of goals, but personally, I want to see how the situation unfolds.
But is winning a title, just a title of whether it be 125, 250, is that one of the next goals?
Yes, of course. You know, you always go into the tournament with the mindset that you can win it, and some tournaments maybe there's a lower chance of that happening, and some tournaments maybe there's a higher chance, but you'll always have a chance.
I do have one more actually. Did Miami surprise you? I mean, you said coming into a tournament, you know, you feel as though you have a good chance maybe of having a good run, but did you expect the semi-finals there?
No, I did not. So yes, it did surprise me. I think Miami 1000 is WTA 1000 is one of the tournaments where I had the lower chance of holding the trophy, but I'm so proud that I was even able to come close, and the way I did it, I had such a tough draw.
I know.
So I had a tough draw.
I know.
Really had a tough draw.
I mean, you had
I didn't
Madison
even,
Keys.
I didn't even realize, because you just look at the first, you know, you're trying to get through one obstacle at a time, and after I passed each one, I'm like, it's just getting harder.
Yeah. Because it was Madison, Iga, and Jessica, wasn't it? And then
Yeah,
you know,
I had Elena, I had Katie.
Yeah, Elena as well.
I had Madison, and then Badosa, who unfortunately withdrew, and then Iga, and then Jessica.
It was
and then
just
if
grand...
I had won, it would have been Arena. So, you know, it's so funny to look back on. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to try to pass the ball.
Go. Sorry. Thank you, Alex.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Confesso a com a Alexandra Eala depois da segunda ronda deste Oilers Open 125. Alex, tough one up there, of course. Thoughts on the match, please?
I think she played very well. I think it was a good match, tight one for sure, and she performed better in the tight moments, and I know what I have to improve for the next tournament. Yeah.
What do you have to improve?
Well, I think a bit of the movement. It's my first tournament on clay. Being demanding with the quality on each shot, and yeah, just take it step by step. I don't think I'm not super down after the match. I competed well. I competed to the best of my ability, and yeah, it was a good match. Yeah.
A lot of people came to support you, even on that very small courts. Are you still surprised with all those people wanting to see you play? Probably most of them for the first time. How happy are you with the sport?
No, I'm super happy. It's tough conditions to watch here. Cold, windy, a lot of the times raining, and I guess that also affects, you know, the conditions of the court for the tennis. So for them to still be here and to support me despite that, it means a lot. Yeah.
Do you think the conditions maybe didn't help you today, or it didn't really matter?
Maybe, you know, the balls were a bit heavier. I think the weather definitely affects clay courts more in terms of changes of condition than other surfaces. I can't say for sure that, you know, in the end it's the same If the court's wet, the court's heavy. The court's heavy for her, the court's heavy for me. So maybe some certain aspects, are advantages to certain game styles, but that's not for me to say. I can't say that it was a disadvantage or whatever. It's just how the court was today. Yeah.
Mentally speaking, how tough was it to go from the center court in Miami to the small court 17 or 18?
I mean,
was it easy for you?
Yeah, it was easy. In the end, I don't really care which court I play. I have to. This is the job. I don't expect now that I'm going to be in center court all the time. Yeah, you can't. You can't expect that. It's not a problem for me to be whichever court. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Madrid and Rome coming. You played Madrid a couple of times. How excited are you to play those two big events like in the top 100? That's where you are at the moment. And how excited are you for that?
Super excited. It's Madrid. I always love going back there. And Rome will be my first time, so much to look forward to. I think, my goals for this clay season, especially after Miami, is just to do better than last year, to improve my game on clay. It's quite a short period of time compared to hard. So yeah, just to feel myself do better and feel myself keeping the level. Yeah.
What is it about clay, do you think, for you and your game that makes it maybe a little bit more tricky than hardcourt, for example?
Well, I grew up on hardcourt, so it comes more natural to me, and maybe my game is a bit more suited to there, how to move, but not to say that it should change on clay. I don't think in the end it's a court, so of course maybe the bounce is higher, it's affected by the weather, but you can't make it such a big deal. It's nothing to change my whole game over, so I believe that I can do just as well on clay as I can on hard. Yeah.
Just coming back to the match today, I mean, 1 or 2 points either way, and we could be looking at the third set, and who knows. And there's one big point in the tie break, I think at 2-4 maybe, or 3-2, and I know you had the line checked. From where I was standing, it was difficult to tell, but you were pretty, keen to have the umpire come and have a look.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I think I'm trying to recall that point, but there were a lot of close. And I think that's the advantage of clay, is that you have the mark, and in the end, if it's really that close, then it's the decision of the umpire. I saw what I saw, but in the end, she makes the final call. So nothing to say about that. Yeah.
Of course, it was not easy the week as well because of the weather. But did you enjoy your staying here in Lisbon? Are you coming back?
Of course, tough loss today, of course, but I think there's a lot of positives to take away. I had fun with the matches that I played, competing, and of course the club is super nice. Yeah, I think organized pretty good. I mean, you had to adapt a lot with the weather, so that's not in our control. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Hi everyone, and especially hello to you, Alex Eala fans. I want to highlight something though that you might not be aware of, which is the fact that you can become a member. Click that button that says join. And what kind of things can you benefit if you become a member? Well, let's have a quick look. Here you can see some of the things that you will get as a member. First of all, you'll get exclusive videos that'll only be for you first. Secondly, you'll get other videos that will never be released to the public just for you members. There are various different levels of membership, but you can begin by just becoming a member from as little as €2, £2, or $2 per month. That's a little over 100 Philippine pesos a month. So not much for some extra content, including some Eala content. In fact, if we look at 2 recent uploads, we've got some of her practices and returns and slices, plus footage of her meeting, greeting, and signing autographs for fans. We've also got an unedited preview and prediction here of her upcoming clash in Miami. And we also have an unedited video of her being interviewed by myself last year in Portugal. Completely unedited and almost 20 minutes, exclusive for members only. There will also be hundreds and hundreds more videos available to you as a member, and hundreds more that are going to be uploaded in the near future, all for just members and all for just $2, €2, or £2 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Just click that join button right now and become a member and get access to the extra footage and, of course, little emojis, including an Eala one, of course. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
How do you put into fortifying that mental pressure or that mental fortitude? I'm curious how that process is for you.
It's all about experience for me. I have been competing since I was 6 and playing tennis since I was 4. So you can imagine how many tough situations I've been in regards with tennis. So I truly feel that the more you're put in that situation, the more you learn about yourself and the more you're able to approach certain moments in a way that suits you best. So I think being in those situations and really being brave is the best thing that I can do for myself.
Ready? Play.
Hi everyone, and especially hello to you, Eala fans. I want to highlight something though that you might not be aware of, which is the fact that you can become a member. Click that button that says join. And what kind of things can you benefit if you become a member? Well, let's have a quick look. Here you can see some of the things that you will get as a member. First of all, you'll get exclusive videos that'll only be for you first. Secondly, you'll get other videos that will never be released to the public just for you members. There are various different levels of membership, but you can begin by just becoming a member from as little as €2, £2, or $2 per month. That's a little over 100 Philippine pesos a month. So not much for some extra content, including some Eala content. In fact, if we look at 2 recent uploads, we've got some of her practices and returns and slices, plus footage of her meeting, greeting, and signing autographs for fans. We've also got an unedited preview and prediction here of her upcoming clash in Miami. And we also have an unedited video of her being interviewed by myself last year in Portugal. Completely unedited and almost 20 minutes, exclusive for members only. There will also be hundreds and hundreds more videos available to you as a member, and hundreds more that are going to be uploaded in the near future, all for just members and all for just $2, €2, or £2 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Just click that join button right now and become a member and get access to the extra footage and, of course, little emojis, including an Eala one, of course. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. I want to address something right now which is going on social media, and it's regarding Eala, and it's people getting angry and upset when Alex Eala loses a tennis match, by the way, they're going, look, see, this is why you shouldn't be so hyping her up. What is this hype all about? Let me tell you now, there is no Alex Eala hype. She is living in your heads rent-free, as are the fans, by the way, which I think is a marvellous thing for tennis. And as someone who wants tennis to expand and be welcomed in other parts of the world and welcome those into tennis with open arms, you guys that are actually trying to quell that are actually saying, no, I want to keep tennis just for me and the small amount of elites that already are within the sport. I want to see it expand, and I'm wonderfully welcoming to a part of the world such as the Philippines, which has been yearning and is obviously desperate for a sports star to fill the chasm, the void that is obvious and apparent in the wake of the retirement of Manny Pacquiao. Now they have it in Alex Eala. No one is saying that Alex Eala is going to be a Grand Slam winner anytime soon or reaching world number one. And by the way, this is where you guys that are feeling in the hate on her and saying, why are you hyping her up? No one's hyping her up. And we know that you're conflating the two issues of hype and excitement and drama, all of which Alex Eala definitely brings to tennis. But it's obvious that you're getting the two conflated because you actually get more angry in the wake of an Alex Eala loss, going, look, there you go, that proves it. That shows that she's not going to be doing this. No one, you won't find one single expert former player suggesting she's going to be making top 10 or even possibly top 20. And yet she is world number 32. She's the 32nd best tennis player in the world. That is what she's being recognized for in terms of her tennis ability. But of course, there's a much more wider significance. And if you look at a bit of tennis history, I think it's quite important. You become to realize that not everybody is just about winning titles, about what they can bring to the sport. And what Alex Eala is certainly delivering right now in terms of fandom and interest in the sport. I sometimes wonder, by the way, those of you that are getting really annoyed by this, you're actually really angry about the excitement that she brings and the seats that she fills within a stadium. I sometimes wonder if you get tennis, if you get sport, or even if you get life. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.